KJV.
All right, shalom to the viewers of here today. This was the promised live that I said I was going to come on here and do. And today we're going to be talking about our people's crown. We're going to be talking about y'all crown today. All right? And this right here comes from the episodes of Pull Yourself Up by Your Bootstrap. And we ain't going to be mocked today. Let me pull up this image of this woman that they say is Queen Makeda. Makeda. I'm gonna pull up this image for y'all real quick. So you see, they say that this woman right here is Queen Makeda. I have a message from Solomon. I have a message that Solomon had wrote, and I want y'all to know something. There has been a lot of our sisters that's been going around here saying a specific thing that I want to talk about today. But before I do that, let me go and let y'all see some history of Miss Makeda. All right. Now y'all see that they had Makeda as a European woman, which means she wearing your crown right here. They say that's Queen Makeda. Okay? But we're going to go to the real Makeda today. Queen Makeda, Queen of Sheba. This is a story about Solomon's wife. So y'all can get a good background on whose work and who we're going to be talking about today. This is the Queen of Sheba. Okay. Let me make sure it's on the screen properly. Look like we good. We go ahead and there we go. All right. So this is the Queen of Sheba, Agami, Ethiopia. Exact date of birth unknown. And there go the model that they gave you for Makeda, which is a close representation of how she looked because she was a sister. Okay. Now, I'm going to let y'all hear the narrator tell y'all about Makeda. So just stand by, family, as I get this set up. Here it go. So here is the narrator that's going to tell you about the real Queen Makeda. And you see it right there. It's written in Gaaz because that's what she spoke and that's what she wrote. They say Giz, but the original say Gaaz. All right, and she's the Queen Makeda. You see how that sound? Makeda? That's a sister name, ain't it? Let me go ahead and let the narrator read.
Early life mystery. There is insufficient information pertaining to the early life of Makeda. As her name implies, the Queen of Sheba is thought to have come from either Sheba, Saba, a kingdom in southwestern Arabia now known as Yemen, or the kingdom of Aksum in Ethiopia, or possibly both, according to modern scholars. Both countries claim her to this day, but Ethiopia has a stronger claim. Even though Ethiopia is a considerable distance from Israel, there is a lot of evidence that the two countries have a lot of interaction. There's also the possibility that she wasn't from Ethiopia, but rather Nigeria, the biblical riddler. Africa and Arabia boast in their plethora of wealthy kings and queens. The biblical figure, Makeda, was no exception to this. Her exorbitant voyage to seek wisdom from the Judean monarch, King Solomon, exemplifies the queen's wealth, opulence, and power. Her thirst for knowledge led her to travel to Israel. The queen arrived in a massive caravan, which was laden with precious stones, gems, and tons of gold. She journeyed there on 800 camels, mules, and donkeys. She arrived bearing gifts of precious stones, amber, beautiful rare woods, myrrh, 120 talents of gold and silver, as well as large quantities of exotic spices. King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba exchanged many expensive gifts, and she tested his wisdom with difficult and complicated riddles, to which he answered impressively. The account of her visit at Solomon's court appears in the Bible in 1 Kings 10, verses 1-14, and a similar repetition of this account appears in 2 Chronicles 9, verses 1-12. The passage states, "When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relationship to the Lord, she came to test Solomon with hard questions. Arriving at Jerusalem with a very great caravan, with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold and precious stones, she came to Solomon and talked with him about all that she had on her mind. Solomon answered all her questions. Nothing was too hard for the king to explain to her. When the Queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom of Solomon and the palace he had built, the food on his table, the seating of his officials, the attending servants in their robes, his cupbearers, and the burnt offerings he made at the temple of the Lord, she was overwhelmed. She said to the king, "The report I heard in my own country about your achievements and your wisdom is true, but I did not believe these things until I came and saw with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half was told me. In wisdom and wealth you have far exceeded the report I heard. Hope you liked it. Read the rest to learn more."
And that's the story of Queen Makeda. So I'll give you a little historic background of the people that I'm talking about. Alright? So I want you to listen to this story that one of our fathers had spoke about. Listen, Mashbaka. And this is a judgment of Solomon. Listen.
1 Kings 3. And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh king of Egypt, and took Pharaoh's daughter, and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house, and the house of the Lord, and the wall of Jerusalem round about. Only the people sacrificed in high places, because there was no house built unto the name of the Lord, until those days. And Solomon loved the Lord, walking in the statutes of David his father. Only he sacrificed and burnt incense in high places. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. In Gibeon the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask what I shall give thee." And Solomon said, "Thou hast shown unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son, to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king, instead of David my father. And I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this, thy so great a people? And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, Because thou hast asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding, to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and an understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk. Then I will lengthen thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there 2 women that were harlots unto the king, and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass, the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house, save we 2 in the house. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight, and took my son from beside me while thine handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son which I did bear. And the other woman said, Nay, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, The one saith, This is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in 2, and give half to the one, and half to the other. Then spake the woman, whose the living child was, unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son, and she said, O my lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it be neither mine nor thine, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel heard of the judgment which the king had judged. And they feared the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgment.
Okay, now we see that a mother was willing to give up her life for her baby. Let's jump to the Bible so we can read it and break it down on what we just heard. Okay, now that right there, it started around here after Solomon's. Okay, let's go down. Now, that's verse 9. So we're going to see how you supposed to rightly judge, how you not supposed to judge. Let me go ahead and go down here. And Elohim said unto him, Because you have asked this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither have asked for riches for yourself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for yourself understanding to discern judgment. Let me pause right here and talk about this, because I am rebuking abortion. The main argument that people be having is that they abort the child because they can't afford to pay off their school loan debts. The place that they go to be indoctrinated, they can't pay that off. And they say that they is financially unstable. Listen at what the word said about Solomon, the richest king that we ever had in our whole nation. And Elohim said unto him, Because you have asked this thing, and have not asked for yourself long life, neither have asked for riches for yourself, nor have asked for the life of your enemies, but has asked for yourself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to your words. Lo, I have given you a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like unto you, neither after you shall any arise like you. I have given you that which you have not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto you all your days. And if you will walk in my ways, to keep my statutes and my judgments, as your father Dawad did walk. Dawad means uncle. Dawada means auntie. Dawad did. Then I will lengthen your days. So Solomon daddy name was uncle. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Yerushalayim and stood before the ark of the covenant. That's Yahweh's marriage covenant to us. The ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Yahweh ain't like what they say, Tyrone. He don't leave his responsibility. The ark of the covenant of Yahweh. Not of Tyrone, not of Pookie and Ray Ray. And offered up a burnt offering, and offered a peace offering, and made a feast to all his servants. Then came there 2 women. Here it is right here. This is my abortion clinic scripture right here. Then came there 2 women that were harlots. You know what a harlot is? A street walker. Unto the Malak, to the king, and stood before him. So 2 prostitutes came before the king and stood before him. Now, did the king throw them inside of prison because he know they were street walkers? So we know that America and our people didn't operate the same way. Then came there 2 women, 2 Asha, that were harlots, street walkers, prostitutes that didn't get locked up, unto the king and stood before him. And the one Asha said, Adonai, my Lord, I and this Asha, this woman, which also means wife and female, dwell in one house. Achad, Bayath Achad, one house. And I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the 3rd day after that I was delivered, that this woman delivered also, and we were together. There was no stranger with us in the house. Nobody that they didn't know. They didn't have no new person in Israel that came and stayed there. And this woman child died in the night season, Layla, because she overlaid it. She laid on her baby. And she arose at midnight. She arose at midnight, at the latest time at night, and took my son. You know, at midnight, you in a deep sleep. And took my son from beside me while your handmaid slept, while your slave slept, and laid it in her bosom, in her paps, in her breast, and laid her dead child in my bosom, in my paps, where the baby supposed to drink milk. not some solution that you get at the store from WIC. And when I rose in the morning, Barakar, Tawab, good morning. When I rose in the morning to give my child suck, when I rose in the morning to breastfeed my baby, behold, it was dead. But when I considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son. Remember the war on black boys? It was not my son, which I did bear. This woman fighting for her baby. And a lot of brothers and sisters, or people that's skin folk, but show ain't kin folk in the spirit, is fighting against. And the other woman said, La, nay, lo, no. But the living is my son, and the dead is your son. And this said, La, no. But the dead is your son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. So they was up there arguing at each other, saying, that's my baby. Then said the king, Malak, the messenger, the ruler, the one saith, this is my son that liveth, and thy son is the dead one. The other say, no, la, lo, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the Malak said, bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, divide, divide, divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other. That's abortion right there. Murder. Kill the baby. Murder the baby. Give this woman one half and give the other one the other half. Then spake the woman whose living child was unto the Malak, for her bowels yearned unto her son. She didn't just see her son as some blob or as some financial issue. And she said, O Adonai, give her the living child. See, this sister was willing to give up her child. How many sisters have given up their baby because of the trickery of the states to save their baby life from somebody, and in no wise slay it? But the other said, let it be, neither mine nor thine. This sister was willing. Now this is a sister here, willing to give up her baby to a thief, to a woman that laid on her baby and murdered and killed her, not murdered, but killed her baby in the night by mistake. And then she wanted to come and take this sister baby. She said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided. This other woman that wasn't a sister in the heart said, but the other said, let it be neither mine nor thine, but divided. See, listen, let me tell you something. When somebody up there is vouching for you to divide your babies in the womb and to divide them inside of prison homes, they can say that to you because that is not their baby. Then the Malak answered and said, give her the living child, in no wise slay it. She is the mother. Who is she talking about? Then spake the woman whose the living child was unto the king, unto the Malak, for her bowels yearned unto her son. This is the mother right here. Not this one that wanted to abort the baby, murder the baby. Because if she can't have the baby, nobody can. While Yasharallah and all Israel heard of the judgment which Hamalak had judged, the king had judged, and they feared the king, they reverenced the king, they worshiped the king, for they saw that the wisdom of Elohim was in him to judge. Now these people do stuff trying to make you afraid by oppression, but this king was worshipped and reverenced because he was a righteous king whom Elohim had given wisdom to know how to give righteous judgment. Let me come back to the chat. Okay, nobody is here yet but one, and I'm grateful for you. So let me go back to the Queen Makeda. They say that this sister could have come from Nigeria. Why? Because they know who these people is, family. They know who these people is. There's an old picture of Queen Makeda, which is the Queen of Sheba. That's our people. She worshiped the sun. Look, there's a lot of wicked things our people did. And then I'll give you more. I'll share this link with y'all when I get off of here, Yahweh willing. But I wanted to come on here and drop by here and let y'all know, when you fighting for your identity, sisters, brothers, and sisters, you see this crown? This is a crown. This is your crown of your man. So when you wear this crown on your head, when you wearing your crown, this crown right here that a lot of our sisters and brothers want to kill with perms and with straightening comb, this right here represent your man. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters who are gone mad that'll perm this. They'll dye this the color of leprosy. They'll bleach their skin. They're getting rid of all of their garments, trying to assimilate inside of European society. European structures was not set up to preserve the what do you call it? The self-esteem of your nation. The European colonies is set up to destroy the self-esteem of your nations, so that you will not work with each other, so that everything that is about you, you would willingly destroy, and anything that looked like you around you, you would willingly destroy. We have to break this cycle of destroying ourselves. You are B'nai Yasharal. It is read about you every Sunday in the Sunday church. But many of Sunday pastors don't even tell Yasharal sitting right in there that, hey, y'all is not a crayon. Y'all is a people. Y'all are a royal people. You're right, sister, that is crazy. Y'all are a royal people, a royal priesthood. Now today, many of our brothers and sisters will willingly give up their little babies to a clinic to murder them. It used to be the safest place on the earth for a baby to dwell. Now, the safest place for a baby to dwell, where is it? inside of their father, but even the fathers are going to get themselves to be trying to pretend like they're a woman and going to get surgery. It has gone so mad until fathers are taking their children to the clinic. Fathers are destroying the wombs of their children, and we wonder why Africa and Kenya was rejecting what the president was trying to bring over to them. They said Africans don't believe in that. Why would a people willingly, this is who y'all is. What is so wrong with being who you are as a person? Until the fact that, to the point that we would maim our babies, destroy the minds of all of our people, young and old, to satisfy the agenda of people who think that murdering your little children is the will of Allahayim. Many of our people go and kill their babies thinking that they do y'all service. Image taken from biblical archaeology. This is biblical archaeology, family. Have y'all ever seen the Ethiopian Bible? Y'all ever seen the Ethiopian Bible? Do y'all know who y'all is? This not us. But look, everything that you are, they classified and claimed it for themselves. And now today we giving it up who we is freely. This is the original. This is the synthetic. Original, synthetic. The one that his name Solomon was her husband. That was a royal portrait of one of our queens. Why do we think so little on our life? Why would, see, even in the kingdom that we did possess, the Moors, and the kingdom that we did possess, this was a sister. Look at the crown on her head. Look at the royal diadem. She honored her husband. She honored the king, Solomon. Look at the frankincense that she had in her hand. Look at the attire that all of our sisters dressed with. She even had the wheels, the tires on her ears. You know, y'all know what the tires are, what our sisters wear? Y'all remember on ATL, that movie that T.I. did? Y'all remember Nunu? You remember them earrings she had on? Those are tires. That's sisters. That's what sisters wear. We giving up all our stuff. Do y'all know who Margaret Sanger is? Do y'all know what she plotted and planned on doing? Don't willingly go and offer your children up to the slaughter. Today I read to you out of 1 Kings chapter 3. Now, I'm appealing to the sisters. Oftentimes, our sisters that these people is trying to lead astray. If you take the man out the house, it wouldn't be nothing but to persuade the mind of our sisters to think that they saving the man by being the leader of the house with that letter to Jim Crow. Family, we need to give the most earnest heed to the things that we have heard, lest we let them slip. This is a deplorable state that our people have succumbed to in these last days. And it's a shame before the Creator of heaven and earth that many leaders can hear this word right here being brought forth and still think it's wicked that these kind of messages is being brought out and classify their own people as terrorist organizations. How are you a terrorist for trying to save the life of your people? And it's not us that can save each other, but you can help one another. Look at this right here. I'm finna let this read to you, and after this, I'm gonna end the live. But before that, let me drop the link. And if anybody would like to come on and give their any thoughts on this, you can, Mashpaka. All right. So let me go ahead and share the link that I shared with y'all about Makeda. Queen Makeda, before we get off of here. Makeda. I call her Makeda because I guess it was a sister I knew by the name of Makeda. Her name is Makeda, but I used to call her Nakeda, so that's probably why I kept saying Makeda instead of Makeda. But that looked just like the sister. Let me share that one more time. That sister looked just like Makeda used to look when we was real little. Look at her eyes. They are Shahar, black, brown. Shahar, dark brown. Highly melanated sister. Aman. So let me go ahead and drop the link to Sister Makeda. Y'all can go and check out the article, and they have more articles in there. Let me go ahead and share this before I get off of here. And before I leave off of here, I want to say shalom, and I left y'all the opportunity to come up on the live screen if y'all want to before the live end. But until then, shalom.
Deuteronomy 31. And Moses went and spake these words unto all Israel. And he said unto them, I am 120 years old this day. I can no more go out and come in. Also the Lord hath said unto me, Thou shalt not go over this Jordan. The Lord thy God, he will go over before thee, and he will destroy these nations from before thee, and thou shalt possess them. And Joshua, he shall go over before thee, as the Lord hath said. And the Lord shall do unto them as he did to Sihon and to Og, kings of the Amorites, and unto the land of them whom he destroyed. And the Lord shall give them up before your face, that ye may do unto them according to all the commandments which I have commanded you. Be strong, and of a good courage, fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And Moses called unto Joshua, and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, Be strong, and of a good courage. For thou must go with this people unto the land which the Lord hath sworn unto their fathers to give them. And thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. And Moses wrote this law, and delivered it unto the priests, the sons of Levi, which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and unto all the elders of Israel. And Moses commanded them, saying, At the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles, when all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, Thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law, and that their children which have not known anything may hear, and learn to fear the Lord your God, as long as ye live in the land whither ye go over Jordan to possess it. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thy days approach that thou must die. Call Joshua, and present yourselves in the tabernacle of the congregation, that I may give him a charge. And Moses and Joshua went, and presented themselves in the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud, and the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And the Lord said unto Moses, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, Are not these evils come upon us, because our God is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day, for all the evils which they shall have wrought, in that they are turned unto other gods. Now therefore write ye this song for you, and teach it the children of Israel. Put it in their mouths, that this song may be a witness for me against the children of Israel. For when I shall have brought them into the land which I swear unto their fathers, that floweth with milk and honey, and they shall have eaten and filled themselves and waxen fat, then will they turn unto other gods, and serve them, and provoke me, and break my covenant. And it shall come to pass, when many evils and troubles are befallen them, that this song shall testify against them as a witness. For it shall not be forgotten out of the mouths of their seed. For I know their imagination which they go about, even now, before I have brought them into the land which I swear. Moses therefore wrote this song the same day, and taught it the children of Israel. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong, and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion, and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Lord. And how much more after my death? Gather unto me all the elders of your tribes, and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. But I know that after my death ye will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song, until they were ended.
All right, family. I'm going to give you a shalom, and I'm finna get off of here. I hope that y'all gathered some encouragement and some knowledge from this message this morning. And I want to say to you all, shalom. Please don't forget to like and share. And I want to just say shalom and thank you again, Sister Naomi, for coming, and for all of those who will hear hereafter, if Yahweh willing. I want to say to you all, shalom. And again, shalom. This song right here at the end is for the people that don't agree with the scripture, that we need to love one another and turn to Yahweh and do right. This song at the end of this screen is for y'all that hate to love one another. And remember, I have a new song coming and October the 20th. Shalom, fam.
How we expect for these people that's making all this money to make the crime stop? How to be a Christian? You gotta claim the world. If it ain't law bonds, just say it's done away. If you got children bread, just get them children crumbs. If you got all the money, make sure they in the slum. The word they say for king, make sure it's God worded. Give them a butter biscuit. Oh yeah, a tap shoot. Make sure they love the master, only adore you. Until they seal is broken and they deny the truth. Now here they claim, say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They enslave my mama, but they enslave my daddy. They enslave my mama, but they enslave my daddy. But they enslave my mama, but they enslave my daddy. But they enslave my mama, but they enslave my bitch. Oh, don't be against your people. Look, we ain't treated equal. I'm painting all this picture by looking at the system. Yeah, we some real victims. No, I ain't make this up. Who most incarcerated and thrown up on the bus? Who walk on eggshells so they won't get arrested? Who paying people money to keep my people bound? 123 billion to lock my people down. A homosexual bill so they won't be around. Here they claim, say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They say there ain't no racism in this country, they say. They enslave my mamas, they enslave my daddy. They enslave my mama, but they enslave my daddy. But they enslave my mama, but they enslave my daddy. But they enslave my mama, but they enslave my people. It's about that time for us to look up what Boaz and Ruth meant.